Hi there and welcome. I'm Cheryl. This is Your Journey Yoga, and it is an honor and a privilege to have you with me today. Today we are going to spend some time getting some ooey gooey stretches for those hips, and we're going to spend some good amount of time, my friends, so slowing down, doing a little bit of Yin Yoga for those beautiful hips. We have a tendency to hold on to some negative energy. A lot of times that can settle into our hips and create tension and tightness. So really important that you focus on your breathing. Okay, your mind can kind of get a little scatterbrained when we slow things down. So just really focus on the breath. If it helps, count to a count of 4 on the inhales and either a 4 or a 5 to the exhales, because your exhales are what are going to help let go of that tension and tightness that we're holding. So if we are sitting here and in easy pose and it doesn't feel super easy to you, you are probably feeling like, okay, a lot of time in the hips, ooh, this could be rough. Now, it's not going to be rough. It's going to be challenging, and it's going to be rewarding. So what I offer for you is take a moment. If you want to grab a blanket, a pillow, a bolster, anything like that, you are welcome to do so. You do not need them, so you can just have you and your mat and some water. But if you would like those, I'll give you cues along the way where you can use them if you need them. And if you decide you'd rather just be you and your mat, just set them aside. All right. So without further ado, my friends, let's come to that easy pose. And if it is not so easy for you, I want you to put that blanket or pillow or bolster underneath your bum to sit on it. And that's just going to allow a little less tension in the hips. As you lift your bottom, it's just going to make things a little bit smoother. And we're just going to close our eyes for a moment. Rest your hands comfortably wherever you wish. So if this is your first Yin class, Yin Yoga is about slowing things down. It's about staying in the poses for a restorative amount of time. So anywhere between 2 and 5 minutes is typical for Yin Yoga. You can always come out before I give you that cue if your body is really struggling or if it's really challenging. Yes, give yourself some grace. Allow yourself to come out of the pose if you need to. You can always come back in. As we sit in our easy pose and we breathe slow and steady, I want you to find just a comfortable place for your hands. You can have your palms to the sky. You can have your palms against your legs. You can bring your hands down by your side, so just anywhere that feels good to you. But I want you to feel that length in your spine, sitting up nice and tall, and I want you to see if you can release any of that tension that's going on in the hip joint. So that hip crease where the head of the femur meets the pelvis. That external rotation of the head of the femur. Do you feel it there? Maybe it's in the outer hips. Wherever it is, my friend, wherever you feel it, I want you to breathe in to that space. So you're going to find more quiet time in this session. I want you to focus on that breath during the quiet time. Let your body melt. Allow yourself to surrender in. Let's gently open those eyes. Bring the soles of the feet together. Knees remain open. Pulling the heels in just as closely as you wish and sit up nice and tall. Knees rolling open. Now you can set a block or a pillow or blanket underneath your knees so that they have something to rest on, taking that tension out of the hips. We really just want to get that openness without tension. So if there is support there, that's fine. If it's gravity pulling those knees down, you just make sure that you are able to relax as best you can through the groin and through that hip crease. Once again, sitting up as tall as you can sit. And just hold on to those legs. Let the knees open. Again, close your eyes. Focus on those breaths. The count of 4 on the inhale, the count of 4 or 5 on the exhale. We relax the jaw, we soften the eyes, and we allow ourselves to be present right here. Mind is quiet. Body is still, just allowing the body to open up and release as it wishes. Now you can still be sitting up on that bolster or that pillow, or at any point you can remove it and bring those sit bones to the earth. Again, always just staying focused on the breath. Always listening to and honoring what's going on within the body. And we gently open those eyes and allow the feet to slide forward just a bit. And now we're going to hinge forward. And you can transition if you have a block, if you have a pillow or a blanket, anything you like, set it right on the tops of your feet, at the arch of the feet, and let yourself round over. Let gravity take a hold. You're just melting. And as we get into those hips a little deeper, we start to feel that nice release in that lower back. Head's heavy. There's this natural tendency to kind of lift your gaze a little bit. Just let your chin gently tuck towards your chest, nothing forced. Allow the weight of the arms to gently pull the torso forward. A nice natural curve of the spine. Feel that gentle pull all through the muscles, down through that lower back, into the glutes, definitely into those hips. You can stack fists on those feet if you need a little bit of assistance, that you just want to relax your head. If you don't have the block or the pillow. If you're a little bit higher and can't quite reach those hands, if you want to put something underneath, a block, a blanket, a pillow, just to lift those hands up a bit, bringing the floor to you. Maybe 2 fists is a little high, flatten out one hand. So again, this is really just exploring and finding that space, that edge that's good for you. And slowly we begin to lift, coming back up. And let's take that left foot behind and bring that right foot kind of just resting right to the top of your thigh. And we're going to slowly turn towards that right knee, sitting up nice and tall. Now that left hip, I want you to notice if it opens, which is fine because we're going to do that. And just that little rotation. And then once again, pull it back down. So we're kind of turning the torso to the right, feeling that stretch to the front of that left hip. And then slowly bringing that left sit bone down. So you might feel this through the thigh, through the knee, opening and gently closing per se. And open. And close it. Let's do that 2 more times. Open and close. Do you feel what's going on through the torso? Opening, nice little stretch, and close it. Now we're going to work to keep that left sit bone down, that hip closed, if you will, and just slowly walk it out over that right shin. And again, you can have a blanket, a pillow, a block, fists, hands, or you can extend those arms. And I just want you to melt. I want your arms to be heavy, so wherever that needs to be for you, your best space. So maybe you need to play with it a little bit. And then give yourself permission to sink. So we have an external rotation going on with that right leg and an internal rotation through the hip joint with that left leg. We feel that nice stretch going on in that lower back, through the groin on that right side. Making sure that the knees are happy, that your breath is slow and steady. Deepening the breath, allowing the body to sink, giving permission to let go of negative energy we're holding. Slowly we rise, sitting up nice and tall, and just feel what's going on through the hips. Hopefully already feeling a little bit looser. And we lift that left knee, slide that left foot in, and then bring that right foot around behind. And again, we sit into that Z position and just notice what's going on through those hips. Sitting up nice and tall, we turn and place the hands on either side of that left leg and let that right hip lift. Oh, that feels so good. Feel that stretch all through the side, and then gently close it back up. So when I say close, we're closing through the hip, and then we open on the inhale, turning and taking our gaze forward, and then close it up, turning back, torso towards the side, and open, facing out over that left knee, and close it, bringing it back to center. So what do you feel? So there's through the thigh, through the hips, through the torso, into that lower back and into the glutes. Let's do that again. Rotate and release. Let's do that once more. Rotate and release. And let's walk it out over that left shin. And again, you come down onto your forearms. You can stack those hands. You can stack fists. You can be resting on a pillow, a blanket. And then I just want let yourself sink. And that's going to take a few moments, a few breaths. So don't force things to happen that aren't ready to happen yet. But allow them to happen as they do progress. Because that's what we want, right? Progress. Deepening of the stretching. All while making sure that we are taking very good care of ourselves. Mindful that there's no tingling or numbness or pain. Just that gentle, dull ache of a good stretch. The length and depth of those beautiful breaths. The most important tool you have in your tool belt to find release, a healthy release of stress, tension, anxiety, any kind of negative energy is your breath. All else fails, my friend. Just breathe. It is amazing how often I find myself reminding myself and others to just take a moment and breathe. When life seems a little crazy, a little chaotic, your breath can slow it down, can bring you back to balance, helping you to find peace, strength, well-being. And as we stay in these poses a longer amount of time, that doesn't mean you can't move, right? So if you need to adjust, it's okay, you can adjust. You can come out for a breath or two and then come back in. It's really about learning about yourself inside and out. And slowly start to walk your hands back up. Oh yes, take a second. Working to get that right sit bone down and sit up tall. Do you notice the ease? A little bit better. All right, my friends, coming to fire log pose, extending that right leg straight out to the side, and we're going to take that left foot a little bit further out in front of us, and we're going to line our shin up with the edge of our mat, sitting up nice and tall. Let's take that right leg, take it up and over, and that little divot right below your ankle bone, between your ankle and your heel, we're going to place that right on the meaty part of the inside of your knee, and we're going to sit up nice and tall. Now you might have space between the foot and the knee. It's perfectly fine. If this is really intense for you, I want you to sit in easy pose or sit up on that bolster. Again, anytime we lift the hips a little bit, that's going to lessen the intensity for those hips anytime those legs are crossed. Now your job is to let go as best you can. So as we look down through the center of our legs, hopefully we're seeing an isosceles triangle. If you see that left shin or left calf a lot, I want you to work to press that bottom leg, that left leg, out a little bit and stack the shins. Nice. So this should be a pretty intense hip stretch. If you have fairly open hips, celebrate that because that is a super gift. Now I want you to flex your feet so that we make sure that we are not sickling that ankle, that top ankle too much. So if that foot slides down and all of a sudden you've got this big bend in your ankle, that's sickling your ankle and that's stretching all those tendons along the ankle. So we want to make sure that we get that little divot between the ankle bone and the heel. Sit up nice and tall. Bring your hands down by your sides. Prop yourself up if you need to. Feel the length in your spine, always promoting good posture. Now your job is to let go. Which hip is talking louder? Making sure your knees are happy. Making sure those feet stays flexed. Again, this is fire log. We can stay sitting up nice and tall. If you wish, you can transfer your hands forward out in front of your shins. That little tip of the hips forward will give you an indication right away if this is right for you or not. If it's not, back off to where you were. If you like, you can start to walk your hands forward, releasing the weight of the upper body down. Initially, your body is going to tighten up through those hips. That's its job. It's to protect. Give it a second. Allow it to realize you're not going to ask more than it's ready to give. Head is heavy, supporting with those hands as much as you need. And breathe. So that external rotation of the head of the femur in that hip joint, fairly intense. Breathe into it. Do your best to relax your face, your jaw, your eyes. And slowly start to walk those hands back up. Take a moment in your fire log pose. Has that space gotten smaller at all? A little bit. How about that intensity? Has it lessened? A little bit. Celebrate those little bits. Rock back to the point. Oh my gosh, this is going to feel good. Extending the leg out. So that left leg is now going to come off to the side. Right foot's going to come out in front of you. Shin is going to come straight across the side of your mat. Add a flex of your foot, and as we take that left leg up and over, again, so now you're going to take that little crook right below the ankle bone, just above the heel, and place it on the meaty part of your knee, inside of your knee, and then just sit up nice and tall. More or less space here on this side. Flexing your feet, making sure that as you come in, if that foot is slid down onto your calf, now all of a sudden there's that stretch going on, right? We want to make sure that we are stretching appropriately and not overstretching through the ankle. We want to keep those ankles strong and supple, not super loose, so that they are great for our gait and good for our balance, keeping us safe and healthy. So checking in. How's that space? Hands can rest on your shin, on your knee, on your ankle, or you can bring your hands down by your sides. And again, you can prop yourself up if you need to. You can really feel that lift. You're sitting on that bolster or that blanket if you need it. Close your eyes and focus on your breath. Send your breath into those hips. So as we focus just on the hips, guys, yeah, it can be a lot. That warm fuzziness going on in those hips, make sure that it's not fire burning, okay? So if it is, back off a little bit, okay? You can always put something between the knee and the ankle to help just relax that top leg. We're not jamming things in to happen. We are allowing things to melt into place. We are promoting healthy range of motion, not injuring, okay? So really keep that in mind. Don't judge. If one side's really tight and the other side's got a little more range, it's all good. Just breathe a little deeper. Show yourself some grace. Have a sense of humor and be like, wow, who knew? Okay, so put a smile on your face. Instead of clenching that jaw shut, squeezing the eyes shut, relax your face, soften your eyes. If it feels good to you, bring those hands forward. And again, that little tip forward, you'll know right away if that was a wrong idea or the right idea. If it's the right idea, you're welcome to walk those hands forward, sinking deeper in. If it's not a great idea, guys, can't let go of that tension. Back it off. Come back up to where you are able to just let your body sink. Remember, your body's job is to take care of itself, right? So that initial response when we deepen the stretch is to lock up a little bit, to guard. Send those big, full, deep breaths to signal to the nervous system that all is well. You're not going to do anything silly. And again, if you need to come out of it, just come up a little bit. If you're good down, stay down. Just holding that fire log pose, keeping those feet flexed, listening to your body. So if you've had past injuries, surgeries, any kind of injury at all, be nice. We don't want any more injuries, right? And slowly start to walk yourself back up. Go ahead and rock it back to the point, oh yes, where you can extend those legs out long. Go ahead and just alternate bending knees, walk it out. Find that breath. Nice job with that fire log pose. Extend those legs, flex your feet. That feels super good. Just checking in, activating those quadriceps, sitting up nice and tall. Find your breath and gently relax through those feet. Extend the arms out and slowly find a safe way. You can go slow and steady, just activating those core muscles to come down, or just come down onto your back. Go ahead and open those arms out to a T, and we're going to pull one foot in towards your bottom and then the other, and we're going to open up those feet a little bit wider than the width of your mat. We're going to do our very best to keep the pelvis level and draw that right knee towards the inside. So we've done a lot of work externally rotating through the hip. Now we're going to take it to the inside, internal rotation of the head of the femur through the hip joint. Now, by doing this, that right hip is really going to try and lift off the floor so that you can get a deeper range. I want you to keep the pelvis level, and I want you to use the strength of the inner thigh just to draw the inside of the knee towards the ground. And then just close your eyes. Find your breath. Slow that breath down. Slow your breath. Take your time. Eyes are closed. Breath slow and steady. Just gazing towards the sky. Relax your jaw. Remember, it's all about the breath. Anytime you need to lift that knee, you're welcome to. Just letting gravity do the job to pull the knee inward, down towards the earth. Slowly we lift that right knee, walking that right foot back in just a bit, and then drawing that left knee inward. Doing our best to keep the pelvis level, to draw the inside of that left knee down towards the earth. Arms can be wherever you'd like them to be. Gaze is towards the sky. If you're able, close your eyes. Relax your jaw. You might notice there's a little bit of work going on through that left side oblique to help keep that pelvis from shifting too much. And I just want you to notice what you feel and where. So there's a multitude of places that you might feel the stretch here. Not just through the hip, but definitely in the hip. Relax your shoulders. I just noticed I was holding a ton of tension in my shoulders. Really focus on keeping those hips down, so relax those shoulders. Kind of do a little check-in from the crown of the head through your body. Are you holding tension anywhere? And gently release that left side. Let's heel toe those feet together. Pulling the knees in towards your chest, hands to your shins, just below your knees. Pull it in nice and tight. And we're going to pull those knees out and away from us, and we're going to bring the palms of the hands right up against the tops of the knees, and we're going to circle the knees to the right. So just keeping the palms gently touching. Just circling, nothing super fast. You might notice a little shift through the pelvis, a little massage for the lower back. One more rotation this direction, and then you're going to switch. And making that little circle. Coming back to center. Let's lift the soles of the feet towards the sky, keeping the knees bent, opening the knees out just a little bit wider than the width of your rib cage. Reaching up, taking a hold anywhere along the outside of the legs, ankles, or the outside edge of your feet. Pressing your tailbone towards the earth, pull those knees down towards the ground. Using the strength of the arms to pull those knees down, using the strength of the core to press your tailbone down. Dead bug or happy baby. Now you can just relax the weight of your arms. If the arms start to get too tired from pulling, just relax. The weight of the arms is more than enough to influence the stretch and really working to open up through the groin and through those hips. Now release the intensity with those arms and just rock side to side. So that not quite dead bug, that super happy baby. You can play with the legs a little bit if you like. You can keep the knees bent. You can extend one leg and then the other one. You can extend both legs and just rock side to side. Just taking care of yourself, having a little fun with it. You can adjust where your hands are, whatever you need. Coming back to center and extend those legs. Take a hold along the inside of the leg or the outside of your foot. You can even hold on to the big toe with your first two fingers and your thumb if you like. And I want you to let the weight of your arms be as heavy as possible. Opening up those legs. Tailbone pressing down towards the earth. Shoulders relaxed. And breathe. That final stretch can be a doozy. Now gently release those hands, flex your feet, rotate your toes towards the ground, and slowly close your legs. As your heels touch, bring your toes to touch. Bend the knees, soften the feet. Bring the hands to the shins and interlace your fingers. Let the weight of the arms pull the knees in towards your chest. And just because it feels good, extend that left leg out. Right knee stays in. Right arm extends out to a T. Left hand to the outside of the right knee and gently pull your leg across your body. And finishing with our supine spinal twist just because we can, and it just feels so good. Stretching through that outer hip, through the glutes, into that lower back, letting go of tension in the neck. My friend, I hope that those hips are just saying, thank you, thank you, thank you. Range of motion has improved, intensity has lessened. We've let go of as much negative energy that we've held in those hips as we possibly can. Slowly rolling it back to center, pulling that left knee in. Right leg extends out and down. Right hand crosses to the outside of the left knee and gently pull your leg across your body. Keeping both shoulders against the earth. And just taking that gaze out over that left arm. Close your eyes and breathe. So as we take time to do these therapeutic restorative yin classes that focus really on one area, they can be intense. You might be sore, hopefully in a good way. You want to make sure that you drink plenty of water. Minimize your sugar intake. Sugar is an inflammatory. So we're trying to keep away that inflammation in those joints. And keeping the toxins flushed out with that water. Just taking care of yourself as best you can. Releasing, rolling back to center. Placing your left foot to the mat and then the right pulls in, opening up those feet just slightly, turning your toes towards one another, a little bit of a pigeon-toed stance, and then allow those knees to gently touch. Let's bring the arms overhead, just stacking one hand on top of the other. Closing the eyes and finding your breath. Now you can adjust however you need. Big, full, deep breaths. Other hand on top. Gently bring both feet together, allowing the knees to fall to one side, coming over onto your side. And as you're ready, using the strength of your arms to help you come back up to a seated position. Rest your hands comfortably, sit up nice and tall. Pulling the hands to heart center, a gentle tuck of your chin down towards your chest. A quiet or a silent, wholehearted thank you. Thanking your mind and your body for taking you on this journey today, for being willing participants in your well-being. Gently lift your gaze, open those beautiful eyes, and I want to say thank you from me to you for joining me on this journey and the time on your mat. I appreciate you more than you know and look forward to each and every session we get to share together. Take care, be well, and until the next time, light, love, and namaste.